welcome to another episode of the Middle Aged Metalhead. Today we've got Abhi and I have got not just one but two very special guests doing yeoman service to the Indian rock and metal community. Two of our most well-known distros, and both represented by their head honchos here. Brijraj Agarwal from Slaytanic Distro, Aditya Reddy from Bangalore Audio Distro. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Okay, so I think to start things off, right, like we always like doing an origin story, and especially with you guys, like our distro in India, with the state of our current rock and metal scene, and not a lot of people actually buying physical products. How did this idea come about for you guys? Maybe Bridge can start first.
Sure. So I started way back in April 2013. I was fresh out of Standard 10, and I started with bootleg merch. There was the store in Kolkata called Vibrations, and I used to get T-shirts from there and flip them on Facebook. I used to reach out to metalheads, and I used to tell them that I have bootleg T-shirts. If you are interested, I'll ship it across. And it was not until 2015 that a couple of those guys asked me for music CDs. And I had started collecting some Indian albums by then. Sahil used to push a lot of albums back then on Facebook. I picked up a couple of albums from him. And then in 2015, I think I got a couple of albums from eBay. And then I saw that, yes, people are probably interested in buying CDs. So that's how it started. And then, if you remember, there was this guy Ulf who started Metal Masala, and he was a big inspiration because I did not know that people are interested in such obscure albums. And then it started this journey of trying to figure out how to get in touch with all these labels, and since then it has snowballed. People have been reaching out to me on their own. I have learned a lot about a lot of new labels, a lot of new bands. People tell me that, hey, can you get me stuff from this label? And that's how it started.
So for me, it started around 2018, 2019. That was when I came back. I've been a collector since what, 2010, 2011. So why did I started basically like when you're putting all these orders and you're putting it for a few friends to cut shipping costs and so on. So I was like, why am I taking it so low? Why am I only taking this entire shipping cost? So I was like, I started realizing, okay, more guys want merch. So basically, it started out to even we make collecting sustainable in a way. So yeah, but before me, of course, you had Bridge, you had Ulf from Metal Masala, Mahotabar, and so on.
Right. And so in the early days, right, when you also started, I mean, you guys practically started around in the same time, to 2015 to 2018, between that phase. So what were some of the toughest hurdles that you guys faced in getting things off the ground?
For me, it was payments, to be honest. It took me a long while to figure out how to send payments abroad. And like right now, you can take any international debit card. Almost every bank issues an international debit card. But back in 2015, when I was trying to get stuff from eBay and Discogs, PayPal would not accept Indian cards. Some cards would have issues. ICICI cards would work, some wouldn't. And I personally feel that was my biggest challenge. Secondly, I'm from a very small city on the east coast of India, and the nearest customs office is in Calcutta. So every time there used to be a parcel with an issue, I would get a notice from the Calcutta customs office, and there was no way to reach them. So for me, those were the two major issues.
So starting out, see, I'll say it like I was blessed to be present in Bangalore, which has all these gigs that are happening. So like it's much more easier compared to Bridge, I can say. So I had this access to all these people, but it for me it was hard going out of my comfort zone and actually just going blast promoting, speaking to everyone, being in situations that mentally as a introvert or whatever you don't want to be in, but you have to push it through. Yeah, that's basically a few starting hurdles I went through.
Hmm.
The market itself, attaining it, I don't feel it was really hard because if you listen to this music, you're part of the scene, and you're gonna be there for like what, okay, whatever, how many ever years. You have all these people that you've met through, so that wasn't a very hard part for me.
Right. So, you guys touched upon it, but I just want to, dig a little bit deeper, and probably Adi, we can start with you. What has been the most unpredictable part of sourcing, especially extreme metal, from overseas? I know you deal a lot, especially now with Raven Command in Sri Lanka as well. So, is it the labels, the pressing timelines, or the India side of the logistics?
Definitely the India side of the logistics. Uh, Discogs used to be a beautiful thing. I think once they banned Discogs in India. That you could get exact presses of what people want, and so as some collectors really want that. They wouldn't want a reissue compared to if they can get for the same price the first press and so on. So that was really annoying. That was that ban that happened there. Logistics is definitely an issue because sometimes the customs overprice, or I don't understand the math, but that definitely, if you're getting something for someone that's like 1,200, it might even shoot up to 1,600, 1,800, unless you have a good logistics with the labels and everything. As for Raven Command and other labels, we're all friends, so I try usually meeting the boys and getting it and so on. Otherwise, yeah, postal, just take the shipping cost.
I think major hurdle, as Adi said, it is the Indian side of the logistics, and I've for some reason always faced issues with payments. There was this new rule where any payments above 5 lakhs, I think it was 5 lakhs, would attract a 20% TCS. So a couple of years ago, every payment that I would make, if I was paying 20,000 rupees, 20% extra would be deducted. So although I could claim it back in 90 refunds, but that 20% per order would get blocked. So my working capital was getting blocked all the time. So these little things are there that has always made things hard. And apart from that, as he said, the shipping. Oh my God, where do I even begin? Just to get the orders through customs. Every time a parcel is stuck at customs, it's just I just hold my breath that I hope it passes through the customs. So yeah, it's tricky.
GK and I
Kudos to you.
usually have these conversations on DMs. Like I usually ask him for advice about how to get stuff and all, and usually his go-to response is just ask Brijraj, get it through them. But there have been a lot of questions that I asked regarding how to get stuff from from the label side, etc. And it's rocket science. Yeah, I mean I can't figure it out. Do you get
Oh,
thoughts?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the largest music stores, music distributors of Europe, Plastic Head, they deal with hundreds of labels, thousands of labels. So it's so fucking strange that the only courier partner they have is DPD. Now DPD does not have direct service in India. They'll route it through some other channel, and you'll probably never get your parcel. I've lost so many parcels from Plastic Head, and then you don't want to lose out on good orders, so you keep trying. And then there are some smaller labels like Dark Decent. They're fantastic rates with FedEx and DHL, so it works out for some labels. It does not work out with some others.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think just sitting in India, right? I can't, like when I order, let's say one LP or two LPs, or like small shipments of like two, three CDs directly from any of these labels, I'm very, very nervous and tracking it every day, like figuring out when is it going to reach customs, when is it going to reach my local post office. And then as soon as it reaches the post office, I have my postman's number saved, so I'll call him and say, what's the scene? Is there any charge involved? So when you guys are doing it at this level, I can only imagine the stress. So, how much of this entire business is like pure passion project, and what percentage of it is do you view it as a business?
It started off as a passion project, if I'll be honest. I just wanted to sell 10 CDs so I could keep one or two or three for me. But over the last few years, uh, it has been good. The distro's been picking up. I've been making decent sales. So now I have enough room to make some money as well. And so yeah, it's probably 50-50 for me when it comes to it being a passion project and making money off it as well.
So for me, I think I'm still in the stage because I'm still in that passion project stage. I can't fully rely on this as a job, which I did try for like a few months right after my cloud kitchen. And yeah, that's not gonna happen, man. Like it's like the most base salary, and like that goes in collecting again. So, and your drinks and so on. So like I for me, I've not reached that level where I can make it as a full-time job. And considering again, like physical media is like a really niche bunch of people. It's the same few people that are picking it up. And then here and there you find more people. So that's an issue. I don't think I can do it as a full-time hustle. It would definitely be a passion project and be on the side.
Just clarifying that I probably make as much as a telecaller in Bangalore, so it's not.
Yeah, exactly, right. That's not even like what that's not a lot, man. So like if you actually have a family and you have to feed your family or
No
anything,
chance.
no
Yeah,
chance.
yeah.
Even if you want to travel or anything in general, you have a vehicle, you want to pay fuel, and then you get your Swiggies and so on. It's not easy to do that with a record label unless you're a larger, big scale, with record labels and so on.
Yeah, I mean, considering that, like, fucking hats off to both of you. Like, seriously, I couldn't imagine
Dude,
doing this.
hats off to Bridge, like the guy's been around for like quite a long time. I used to buy CDs from him originally as well. So hails Bridge.
It's a small community, man. Thanks
Yeah,
to
man.
everyone who keeps buying over the years.
Yeah.
But just to that point, I remember Bridge and I having this conversation about getting uh, some titles from SWAT, right? From Finland, and one band which shall may or may not be featured in a future best of episode. I particularly wanted that band's discography, and Bridge was like, dude, I don't think I can do it now because I don't think anyone gives a fuck about any band in this, and plus the shipping rates were like crazy at that time. So when you guys decide to bring which titles, or you know some titles which you guys bring in before others, do you trust like your own ear, or what the Indian collectors tend to gravitate towards? How does that equation work?
It's a little bit of both. I remember back in 2016 or 17, SWAT did a reissue of the Demolic compilation. I don't remember the name. So it's a two CD, has everything that they've ever recorded. And I mean, I love that band, and I know that people here would like it too. So I just straight away ordered 20 copies or 25 copies. And even with Converse, the first album, World Without God, if I
Yeah.
can remember
Yeah.
correctly. So even that had a similar story. So there are some albums with which I know that okay, people would probably like to pick up a copy, but then there are some others that even I don't know, they pass under my radar, and people come up to me and ask me for them, and that's when I get them.
I think just before I start off as well, I think one great thing Bridge does that is getting the current records that are happening. Like you have Bloodhouse Knot that has a release or so on. He's keeping up with the current records. That's current releases. That's something I don't do. I'm more on nostalgia, right? So like whatever I can get my hands on, I have a good understanding of my market, and I have a good understanding of what people like. So I don't generally even try to keep it just metal. I try to keep it. Sometimes you might find jazz, you'll find hip hop, you'll find psytrance, all kinds of music, um, because it's much bigger than just metal. So the same metalheads are going to listen to other genres as well. Um, yeah, yeah, man. I don't think I would just stick to metal and yeah.
So what is that? Was there ever any like one moment where it felt like all of this hard work was worth it?
Dude, yeah, sorry, Bridge. I have to say this one thing. I really love the fucking community that we've managed to build. And it's like, dude, fuck money, fuck the profits, fuck this shit, everything. The community that we have managed to get off like these guys, because now before it used to be a bunch of randoms. They're nervous. They're not gonna just approach anyone. But now it's so beautiful seeing all these guys like, hey, dude, I know you. Like we chat every day. Oh, it's nice to meet you finally. So I feel like building the community was I that was the biggest part, man, and that's what we need. That's what we need, and I hope it keeps going on.
Cool.
I love being a part of the Kirik group, although I'm a very
Um,
passive participant. It's
Chaos,
fun.
bro.
I mean, I constantly keep texting. Every time I get something, I remember Adi yesterday. I will not name the album, but essentially what Adi is helping me do is I had like a bunch of cassettes when I was a kid, right? And these were albums I really got into, and those were my introduction to a lot of these bands and a lot of these genres that I'm into. So I'm essentially using BLR 80 to recreate that entire set of albums that I had. So at this point, even I don't even have to like tell him to look out for something. He essentially knows exactly the stuff that I would be interested in or I will 110% get. So he DMs me, dude, I have this. I'm blocking it for you. We'll figure it out. And that is essentially how it works with BLR80 as well. And now with Bridge as well, even there are some labels that he knows for a fact that most of us, like you, GK, myself, some of the other people that we know, who would be interested in that. So, which brings me to this next part of the question, like, which labels have been the most exciting to collaborate with thus far, and what sets them apart? And this is two-parter. And the second part is any dream label partnerships that you guys would like to uh, collaborate with, any dream label that you guys would want to have like a working relationship with.
I feel relapse has been a big part of Slaytanic. They were the first label that I actually got a wholesale order from, and they've been very supportive. Even Earache and Season of Mist. Season of Mist to an extent that Michael, the founder slash owner of Season of Mist, so we chat on Facebook, and he sometimes gives me special offers because he wants people in India to buy more stuff. You would see that albums that are priced at 15 euros, I'm able to get them for even 1100 rupees in India. And then that's majorly because Michael wants that to happen. So, Season of Mist and Relapse, are probably the two of the best labels that I've ever dealt with. And there are bad examples as well, plenty of them. Mott Productions, Shadow Kingdom, big rip-off labels, to be honest. Would probably never deal with them again. And one label that I would really like to get associated with is Nuclear Blast. But their terms and conditions are absolutely obnoxious. I don't see it happening in the next 10 years even. So the only way to get those CDs are through other labels that are doing distro for them. So yeah, Nuclear Blast.
For me, anyone who's followed BLR or Audio Distro will realize like I don't actually have label orders. I don't do label orders. There's a reason as well. I don't want to cut into someone else's, the way they are doing things. So Bridge has labels he works with. I work with private sellers. I work with bands very specifically. I try to promote Indian talent. And then I have like these other sellers that have their jazz, hip hop, and so on. Um, then I work with the factions from Lanka, such as Stronghold Productions. He's actually coming up right now. He has like all the NWN and so on. And Ravan Command, Kolkata in Order Propaganda, Kali Yuga Conspiracies, Cyclopean Eye Productions. So I work with all these guys. I haven't actually genuinely put label orders. I put it through bands. Yeah. So very different model altogether, I have to say, by the way.
So, what is the most annoying customer type for both of you?
Yeah, just send you a screenshot. Can you send me the tracking number? I'm not Amazon, dude.
What is the most annoying? Dude, I've had some very fun interactions with a lot of people, and I'm so grateful for my hospitality degree for letting me see past half the bullshit and deal with it. But I think the guys who absolutely do not, they don't come to gigs. They don't, they don't buy any merch. They don't they're just there, but they just send you those DMs like, hey, this is a good band. Thank you for the recommendation. Hey, awesome. They just send you messages. They ask you for the price and then they go Maya. So those guys are pretty fucking annoying, man. I think those guys are pretty annoying. Like, it's like, why are you doing window shopping, man? Like, if you want something, you ask it, get it done with. So yeah, those guys. You're not gonna buy it.
I'd like to add there have been instances where Adi and I text each other with screenshots. Dude, do you know who the fuck this guy is? And then that's yeah. Oh yeah, I've had a bad experience with him. So yeah, there
Yeah.
are many such people as well.
There's some awesome characters in the scene, man. I love it. I live for this shit.
So one question about, since both of you guys, Bridge also to an extent deals with reselling, and Adi, there's a lot of reselling that happens through BLRAD. So for reselling, right, what determines whether a title flies off the shelves like that, or gets stuck even when it has like some level of low key traction with people actually appreciating that kind of a band or that said album? Uh, your thoughts?
There's some herd mentality. I'm sorry if this is rude to say it has herd mentality, but I've seen CDs and bands that people are not big fans of really flying off the shelf. And then there are some albums that people talk about all the time, but then when I actually take orders for them, I get like one or two requests. So when there are multiple people talking about a particular album or placing orders or replying sold in my group as I run it, and when there are three or four people, when I see my friends, when legends like GK come and sold, and there are immediately three four people who want that album. So yeah, it
Dude,
works that way.
commission.
Please DM for more.
So I try to deal with a lot of records I'm familiar with, and I think people are familiar with. I don't go into uncharted territory, something I do not know. Uh, I do sometimes just jump the hurdle, and I'm like, okay, let's see if people would like this artist, and I'm surprised. So it's a constant learning experience for me. Like, I just threw this record on there, and then people like it. I'm like, okay, cool. So there are things that I might even not know about. Um, Also, when it does come to reselling with private sellers and so on, there's a lot of things that have to go in, because a lot of these have to come from sellers that are mint collectors. You can't just take like a bunch of stuff. I've had bad experiences with guys who just it's just stocked up in the corner. There's all types of cobweb, fungus, and so on, and then they quote exorbitant prices. And yeah, it's a terrible experience for me and the customer. Only the guy who's got rid of it is happy.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's different things you have to look into in reselling as well.
So, again, this is something to do with something with. I'm just going off a tangent with what Adi mentioned. He's helping a lot of Bangalore artists and a lot of Indian bands level up by marketing their CDs. We grew up at a time, at least I did. I mean, where only you knew for a fact that only Demonic Records was that label where you could get like some Indian material there. But right now, because of this distribution system which has been set up, a lot of this material is available readily, more readily than it used to be in the past. So, how healthy is the market for Indian metal band CDs and vinyls, and what would help it move forward? Adi, you can go first.
Um, I don't think it's a very healthy market. I'm sorry if I say this because I don't want bands thinking I don't want to say glorify it and then bands put in their hard work money and then they're waiting 3, 4, 5 years to sell the stock they're sitting on it. A lot of bands have gone through it. Um, but it is essential. A lot of bands have stopped making music because of that, like physical CDs, tapes, and so on. I think they should really look at that as the essential product, but also have your T-shirts and other stuff. Uh, you do not have. You have curious people that are gonna buy your album if you really, if they're really into it. But otherwise, in general, you need to look at the numbers you're pressing. If you don't have a label, and it's a self-independent release, I don't think it's really worth it for bands to do it. But unless you can do something like 50, 100, or you're like top notch and you can ensure it's sold, because most of these guys are not going to buy the CDs. They're going to buy the T-shirts. They're coming to have a good time at the gigs. A lot of people don't have the CD players. It's like a handful of number of us. Even if they do, they use it to get it signed and just keep it in the cupboard for like ever, you know?
So, if I remember correctly, Kunal Choksi from Transcending Obscurity has released quite a few fantastic Indian albums. And
Yeah.
in the early days when TO had just begun, he used to stock quite a few CDs of many Indian bands. Even Bajao.com, that music instrument store, used to have a lot of music CDs back in the day in 2013, 2014. But then when Kunal stopped signing Indian bands around 2016, 2017, that's when I thought, okay, maybe I should start signing Indian bands and release Indian music. So my first signing was Night.
Yeah.
I also released War Marshal, Against Evil. So with these bands, the idea was simple. I knew that there's no way we can sell out 200, 300 copies of the CDs that we were pressing. So the idea was to sell, let's say, 60, 70 or 100 copies over a year, and the rest of the CDs I would reach out to the labels that I was getting stuff from, and then I would ask them that, hey, this is an Indian band that I've released, if you're interested I can send you some copies. So Night did really well, to an extent that labels like No Remorse placed orders for 100 copies of the Night EP, and we had to repress more after that. So even Against Evil. So I think when it comes to physical media, Against Evil from India have absolutely cracked the code. They are selling hundreds of copies of their CDs direct through Bandcamp. And honestly, you don't really need a label if you are an Indian band selling music in India, because it's very easy to get music pressed in India. You don't need a lot of funds for that either. And there are plants that are pressing 200 to 300 copies. So if you are an Indian band trying to release music in India listening to this, please ask your fellow bands, reach out to bands like Godless, Cryptus. They're all really helpful people, and they'll tell you where to get your music pressed from. And the more you tour, the more likely you are to sell your CDs. Labels like, distros like me and Adi, we can only help to sell, so many CDs. But then beyond that, it's your live shows and the music that you sell there. And the first objective should be to try to break the international audience. The Germany, US, people buy music there like left, right, and center. I think that's probably one thing that varies a lot between Indian fans and the European fans. So yeah, I feel if you're an Indian band, try to get into the European market. That's the only way to sell physical media here.
If I may comment about that, that's become something that a lot of Indian bands go to is they try to focus on the European market or American and so on. It's a bit annoying because it says volumes about the fan base more than anyone. So I kind of really find that annoying. But I hope that changes, man. I hope people realize it's not about what t-shirt you're wearing and so on. Yeah, you can rep it, but it's actually about the music.
Yeah.
And if you love it, you actually just support. It's not. You're not gonna go completely broke, man. Like if you love something, you buy it, you invest in it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change your entire like pocket. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to convince people to go out there and buy merch, but keep it alive because this is what these guys have. There's a lot that goes on in like bands that a lot of people don't understand, and the last thing you want is to get these guys realizing, oh, I'm not making anything, so like let me just call it a night. So keep it alive and keep especially the Indian scene more than anything.
Right.
Buy the CDs more than the T-shirts or anything.
Is it a growing market though? I mean, we keep having this discussion among ourselves about are there new people coming into the scene? And yeah, there are. If you look at gigs, there are. But when it comes to actually buying stuff, is that are you seeing new customers coming in, or is it just the same group of people who are constantly coming and buying stuff?
So it's definitely the same few that are there forever. But then sometimes you have like these kids who wander in and they're just like, hey, dude, like I'm just looking for something. So like I do this kind of thing called the mystery box. So I ask
Yeah.
you a few questions on like what kind of music you like and what kind of medium you're looking for, t-shirts, patches, CDs, so on. And I try to curate something and sometimes out of your comfort zone, so like that forces you to explore music as well. I do see a lot of youngsters getting into it. I see youngsters getting into the whole patches t-shirts aspect of it, but CDs, it's usually like the big guys, man, the usual Justice League.
Yeah, but I think there's so many fans that buy physical media that still don't know about Asadi. I
Yeah,
mean, even
yeah,
Abhishek for that matter. It was not until 1 year ago that
Yeah.
we first spoke.
Yeah.
So and I have people all the time on my Instagram page reaching out to me saying, "Hey, dude, I cannot believe that you have Bluetooth Node CDs in India. How can I get them?" And I think for me because I live so far away from Bangalore, Bombay, where most of the people who buy physical media are based there. It makes things more difficult for me. I cannot go to gigs as much as probably you guys can go to. So the networking opportunities or the opportunity to maybe set up a stall in a gig, so that is missing.
so I did set up a few stalls at gigs initially, and sometimes I do as well. But I realized there as well, it's a lot of window shopping, and then you see the guys like go and spend thousands of rupees on like beer or like some really crappy kebab and food. It's kind of messed up, man. But I guess yeah, hopefully it comes back. Like keep it for the music, not kebabs and beers and so on.
So aside from this, are there any like persistent frustrations or pain points of running a distro? Like if you have to speak about the moments where you were questioning yourself whether it's actually fucking worth it, to take all of this pain. Has there been any of this? I know you guys touched upon the fact where just Adi was just talking about, people just blowing off their money on bullshit and actually not spending, a minimal amount for the music. Aside from this, are there any like consistent ongoing pain points?
The falling rupee. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where do I even begin? If you look at my group, there are times when, once every 6 months I post a screenshot of how much a euro is now
Yeah.
in Indian rupees. So every time I post one such screenshot, I'm actually infuriated the entire day because I was trying to place an order and suddenly the entire order costs me 2,000 or 3,000 more just because the rupee fell. And I just cannot begin to describe how frustrating it is to see the rupee falling every fucking time I place a new order. It's not like there's probably a 5% increase a year. Every single time I place an order, the pound goes up. It's crawling towards 200 now. I mean, it used to be 80 when I placed my first
Yeah.
order with Peaceville, and now it's probably 125 or something. So yeah, that is one persistent problem to which I don't see any remedy.
Man, I'll tell you what, if you're going to do something like this, you need to ensure that you have um, either good backing or you have something you're relying on. This cannot be the forefront, definitely, unless you like that little stagnant way of living and you're just comfortable there. But and that'll go on for years. That'll just go on for years. You'll be in that little record store. So I would say do it if you have like a job, you have your life sorted, then do this on the because the rupee is terrible right now. I keep seeing bridges updates with the GBP, and I'm like, this is another reason why I don't put a lot of international orders. It's annoying because you get that for 200 and then plus your customs and everything. That it just doesn't seem worth it anymore. So I think that's the only thing, man.
Yeah. I remember you going like complete ape shit. I remember you earlier this year you had taken out some pre-orders for some Sepultura, some Dayside records, and I also had placed an order. And once those orders came in, I remember your very angry message at 9 o'clock in the morning. All of these prices have gone up by $400. And this is going to be the last order for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I chimped out. I shouldn't have chimped out. Sometimes my caffeine gets the best of me. And the guy was standing in my door, smiling at me and like looking at me with this big bill, and they're like, "We only take cash." So I got a bit yeah, handsy on it. Man, I really hate the way they price this customs thing, man. Really, they
Yeah.
really do a number on it. I've spent 6,000, 8,000 bucks on a vinyl, which would be like 3,000, 4,000. Also I'm comfortable spending 6,000, 8,000 bucks on that vinyl. After that I was like, I'm only going through labels. Hail Bridge.
Okay. So a funny incident. There was this one time when a package from Dark Descent got stuck at Kolkata Customs, and they opened parcels randomly, right?
Yeah.
So they open and they see this really gory artwork with naked women and probably being slaughtered or something. I don't remember which album it was, and I get a notice from the customs department, and I was summoned to Kolkata. I could not have replied via phone or email. They wanted me to actually be there because they, probably guessed that I was importing banned pornographic content or something. So I actually had to take, the advice of a lawyer, got a reply, went to Calcutta because it was a big order, and the babu sitting there, he asked, what is this, why are people listening to this? So he said, sir, this is no porn, please play this. If you have a CD player, it's just music, the equivalent of horror movies and music. And after a lot of convincing and some bribes, I managed to get that parcel out. but then there are parcels where even if I get the customs form down valued, if a label is kind enough to agree to that, I get slapped with 100% customs. And then when there are customs forms with the actual values, they slap a 60% customs, sometimes 50% customs. I mean, I'm not sure if someone can explain how the customs rate works, whether it's 40%, whether it's 100%, or whether it's just the
75%.
whim of the person who's assessing the value of the packages. It's really frustrating that way.
But on that convo about vulgar artwork, metal releases have a lot of metal releases have like really brutal vulgar artwork, right? So I had someone ask me if I could get them CBT's Sea Tails, if you know that artwork. And yeah, I was like, dude, I'm not taking chances with vinyl that. So I was like, I'm not taking chances with that. Um, Otherwise, in general, something as simple as like a skull or like some goat, some satanic imagery, that stuff I had issues with in Lanka when I was leaving. They checked, like, I had all these CDs and they checked a few of my CDs, and they're like, "What is this? Why do you do this?" I was like, "It's all mine. I made up like a little story." But like I told them it's all mine, and like it's just music. It's not anything else. It's not even videography. And the same thing also happened in Europe to me. So like I feel yeah, that's a little issue, man.
Just
Trying to get
curious,
all these albums back with all those sometimes bullshit artworks.
just curious, which was this album that you were speaking that got you in trouble?
I'm trying hard to recollect. I'll
Uh,
probably have to check again. I just cannot recall.
It must be some degenerate deathcore bullshit.
Uh, it wasn't Dark Descent, so must be OSDM.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll have to check.
Intense Hammer Rage.
So my mother does a lot of the packaging work actually, and there have been so many uncomfortable moments when so what I do is I stack packages as per customer names, and I make sure that the CD on top is one with very clean artwork and there's no vulgarity. So I just slip those CDs in probably the fourth or fifth place where my mother does not come across them.
But some of these labels also, no, like what they do is they know that the artwork is really messed up. Like I got like this Life Lover album,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's all messed up. Vinyl that too. Huh?
Oh wow.
So that one, they inverted it. Like they had something else put over it, and so on. So yeah, like I think bands need to tone down on the edginess, man. Just show it in the music.
Oh, so, okay, just a quick one to wrap things up. What are your top five labels? Not just what you're working with or anything like that, but top five labels or favorite labels.
Metal Blade,
Okay.
Dark Descent, Season of Mist, Peaceful, and High Roller.
So all the labels you
Oh,
work with. Thanks, man.
Oh, yes, and all of these labels have bands that I love. So
What about you, Adi?
Hmm. Ravan Command. Um, I'm pretty sure there's some Brazilian labels, but I'm not able to get the names like Combat and so on.
Yeah.
Um, and these are more like something I fucking love. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like yeah, Kali Yuga. Um, man, who else? I think Dunkelheit moving to power electronics and so on really got me hyped. So I love Dunkelheit's stuff. And for that little edge, like I get my NWN, man.
Yeah.
Like I love that stuff. Um, Sometimes I get into the grind mode and I want like the good old stuff. I go to Yorick or Self Made God. So yeah, these are my labels.
Have any
cool.
of you seen the packaging with the Nuclear War now does for their pressings?
Dude,
It's
they're
Is
top
it good?
class with what they're doing.
incredible, man.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm surprised because the moment he mentioned NWN, I was like, oh my god, that experience was so bad. 6 or 7 CDs arrived completely broken, and when I asked that guy for replacements, he's like, "This happens. I'll probably just send you 10 CDs in the next order." No apology, nothing. That was the last time I placed an order with NWN.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, you should actually get more. Like there's a lot of people who enjoy their stuff. And like Deborah Morty and stuff like yeah. And also like just to put one thing, there's this thing where like guys want like sealed copies of the albums, right? And I'll just put this out there. Like we're not if we try to get the CD case sealed copies of these albums and they come shattered, we're losing on shipping and we're like, we need to still change those cases. That's a pain in the ass, huh? Don't
Yeah.
you think so, Bridge?
Yes, that's why I've started getting CDs out of cases. A lot of
Exactly.
people have issues with unsealed copies, but then
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
only
exactly.
way to get them for an affordable price. We
Yeah.
save a lot on
Why,
postage.
why am I giving the guy like what's this like 50 euros for shipping cost? And when we have jewel cases and so on, it's a brand new disc. It's everything's brand new. It's just and they come broken, man. I hate that shit, man.
Yeah.
Some other good experiences with other labels has been more from a fan perspective. Like I'm a big Dead Congregation fan, and I'd been looking for Graves of the Archangels album for a very long time. So they had not pressed it until a couple of years ago, and I reached out to Anastasis, who also runs the label. I think Martyrdom or Nuclear Winter, I cannot recall. So he was kind enough to actually send me a signed copy of the album. So I have a Grave of the Archangel signed copy, and even the Northern Heritage
Yeah.
to actually get to speak and even exchange mails with Miko Aspa. I mean, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. So those have been some good moments as a distro owner who gets to deal with all these fantastic musicians.
Adi's just smiling at the mention of
Tell,
Nico.
tell him to stop doing all that dirty shit, man. And just he has great musical output. Tell him to put like good music and stop doing dirty ass shit.
So, like I was asking GK as well, GK, what are your top five labels?
Oh, if I had to say like all time, it would be Earache, Roadrunner, Metal Blade, probably Nuclear Blast because I mean that classic lineup was ridiculous. But right now, Norma, Evangelium, Diabolus.
Yeah, Diabolic.
What is it?
Aboli.
Diaboli. Yeah, that label is on fire. Osmos has just consistently over the years, I think, been fantastic. Um let's see what else. Those are two off the top of my head that I can think of. Yeah.
Guys, there's one label I think people are forgetting, no? I don't know where it is now, but Razorback Records had some
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
brilliant,
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing stuff they had.
Mm.
Death metal.
But it's
Yeah.
sad to see where Earache is now, even Roadrunner for that matter, but Roadrunner, Earache especially. And, it's just been a
Yeah.
shit show for them.
Yeah. I think
You're right.
Earache has been terrible. Roadrunner got bought out by Sony. Century Media, I think, is also bought out by Sony. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Probably the only
What?
saving grace in Earache's last 2 decades has been Vector. Oh my God, where did they get Vector from?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
apart from that, I mean, I don't even care to check out what new music Earache is putting out.
Yeah.
You know,
But
that's
that
happened.
classic lineup, oh my God! I mean, how are all of those bands on Earache? It's unbelievable.
Genre-defining bands, all of them
Absolutely.
on
Yeah.
Earache.
And that happened with me with Relapse because I currently I don't like the
Yeah.
direction Relapse is doing. They're doing all this colorful, holy LPs and like some of the bands have become a bit too soft. So
Yeah.
we've had discussions, no Bridge, about like the whole thing. I'm like, can you get me black?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
All
they've gone
these
full
limited
holy.
editions. Peaceville is actually infamous for this. They'll announce that it's a limited release, 500 copies, but they'll most definitely press 2,000, and then that's how
Uh,
Peaceville operates. Eric has been infamous for this for many years. They've been ripping off bands left, right, and center. So yeah.
yeah.
You're
I think
But yeah, I'm like
Rodney.
totally with Adi when it comes to these colored variants for records. God, some of these are like, you look at them and you get a headache. Yeah. They're like
It doesn't make
horrible
sense
shit.
also. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, some of them.
No, I don't understand the
I mean,
concept of a picture disc here. Like, what the
uh,
fuck does picture disc have to do with anything? But I think among the newer labels, No FDI, as you mentioned, JK, World Telecommittee is insane. Uh,
mhm.
no Solace is fantastic, even though they have just two bands. But both those fucking bands are epic. And I think, yeah, Northern Heritage is also incredible. But Bridge, we were bitching about it. I was bitching about it in our last Halls video about Amor Fati, man. The fuck is going on with their packaging? I mean, it's just a cardboard cutout for and the album cover, and that's it.
And the prices.
And the prices exactly. Like it's wild prices, and yeah, it's terrible. But just to put a bow on this entire conversation, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being a part of this. It's been long overdue, and we'll try to do it one more time. Let's make it into like an ongoing thing. We'll do it again very soon. But as you think about the road ahead, right, moving on to the next year and the years forward, what does the future hold for Slaytanic and BLR Radio? Where do you guys see these labels of yours going?
So I'm very happy with how the distro has been doing for the past couple of years. I'd like this to be this way. Probably get more stuff from these newer labels that we talked about. Most of the French labels, they've been really good for the last few years. So yeah, and probably try to get through the collecting audience of Bangalore. Maybe attend a couple of gigs,
Yeah.
not just network, but because I've not been to a single gig in a very long time. So yeah, and then meet new people, meet friends in Bangalore, people that I've known for so many years. So yeah, that's one big goal for 2026.
So, my 2026 goal for BLR Audio Distro is, I think more or less it's just gonna try to make, bring in more people awareness and build the community more than anything. And if I could, I'd like to maybe try out getting a little shop and have stuff on there. Um, Other than that, I do have to mention that me and Naga Pisasha of Basmasura Emulation have been working on something. So I feel this is something we are really excited about. So I'm going to probably be focusing a lot of my time on that project. And hopefully we can tell you guys more about it in like a few months.
Like 3 months. Okay, so is this like a music project that you guys are doing?
Oh, there's a lot to it, man. Like, there's a lot to it. I've done the entire logistics. We have everything lined up. We're looking at something that's ready for until July, August. And again, this is going to be a purely based from the heart passion project, and just to leave the mark. So I'll tell you more in a few months.
Sure, sure. I look forward to it.
Cool. All right, so that about wraps up today's conversation. Very interesting and good fun chatting with both of you guys. Thanks so much for doing this, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
tuning in. If you've stayed all the way through to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment, like, and share the video as well. You'll see links to BLR Audio Distro and Slaytanic in the description. So if you're interested in picking up physical media, go ahead and join their groups, follow their Instagram pages, and signing off for now. Cheers. Stay safe,
Thank
stay
you, guys.
metal.
Yeah, thank you so much.